Hi, welcome. My name is Caitlin. This is One Down Dog on Demand, and this will be about an hour-long flow class. We'll get started pretty quickly, get some things moving, and have a really nice, long, juicy cool down. So if you are just getting off work and you're feeling really buzzy, if you are feeling stressed and a little and you need to get some stuff out, this is a wonderful class that you'll hopefully end up a little bit more sattvic, a little smoother, even tempo at the end of this class. So if you would like to press play on the playlist. It's in the description of this class, and you can go ahead and pull the playlist up. We'll press play in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, play. Blocks will be helpful for this class, but not necessary. So if anything I'm doing with the blocks doesn't apply to you, that's fine. You can do it just the same. Find your way to your back with your feet on your blocks. This will help you untuck your tailbone, be flat on your back. Big breath in. Place your left ankle on your right thigh, flexing your left foot. Push your left knee away from you. This might be enough having your right foot on the block where it is. But if you would like to pick the right foot up and hold onto the right leg, you can. But keep that strong 90-degree angle. Keep pushing and encouraging your knee away from you. You can wiggle. You can have stillness. We are often in a state of fight or flight or freeze. And we have to give ourselves the opportunity to rest, digest, to process, and settle. Right foot on the floor, block, left foot on the block, and switch. Right ankle on the thigh, flexing your right foot, encouraging your right knee away from you, maybe holding on to the leg if you want it to go deeper. Notice how you're feeling about laying on the ground at this particular moment. Is it the action you're wanting? Are you feeling really buzzy and awake? How can we let ourselves shake off our day or shake off a bad mood or shake off stressors and make space for the place we want to spend our day, the mood we want to have? And straighten your right leg to the sky. And this time, make sure your left foot's pretty close to your butt. Lift your butt into the air, pressing onto your elbows, lifting your hips up. Lower the right leg halfway and extend and stretch. And switch sides, both feet on the blocks. Center yourself. If you need to scoot your right block in a little bit, play a little footsie to get it there. Left leg extends. Walk your elbows in. Be a little more fierce on the arms so you're not just dumping into the shoulders and neck here. Spread your toes out. Drop your feet to the blocks. Lift up into that bridge. Notice when your elbows are in, you're a little stronger. If you walk your elbows out, you'll notice it's a little softer. Keeping your elbows close to your body helps recruit your core and your back involved. Lower your butt down. Straighten your right leg into the air and bend the right knee, grabbing the right toe or the right ankle. I do want you to have some resistance. So if you're hypermobile, bend your elbow so you have a lot more resistance. Straightening your right leg, and don't actually fully straighten it. Just expand it so it's a little straighter and then pump it right back to the armpit like you have a little grasshopper. Straightening and bending, straightening and bending. Taking that little half happy baby, pausing there. Bring the right knee into the chest. Kick your blocks out of the way, make space for your legs. Straighten your left leg out, hug your right knee into your chest. Spinal twist, drawing your knee across the body, throwing your right arm out like an anchor, holding your right knee with your left hand. Coming back onto your back, both knees into your chest, exhale. Right foot on the floor or a block if it's still there. Flex your left foot, grab your left big toe or the left calf, but I do want you feeling a resistance. So if you feel like you can't fully straighten your leg, you're doing it right. Straighten that left leg a little and then bend. Again, if you are very mobile, bend your elbow so you can feel that same sense of like struggle a little bit. Bend. Keep that little grasshopper shape extending and bending. Maybe straightening the leg fully on one or two. Finding your half happy baby, relaxing there. If you want to straighten your right leg, you can, or keep it on the floor. If you want to hold the back of the left knee instead, you can take a more chill version. Straightening your right leg onto the floor as you bring your left knee into your chest. Spinal twist, left leg goes out, or left arm goes out, left knee draws across the body. If you're having low back pain, keep your butt a little more grounded. Don't lift your hips as high. Rolling back onto your back, hug both knees into your chest, exhale. Straighten your left leg to the sky. Straighten your right leg to hover off the mat. Make a little Yogi Charlie's Angels type gun and reach past your left thigh, pulling your head up off the floor, looking past your toes, past your belly button. Inhale, bring arms overhead, bring both legs overhead. And switch. Right leg stays up, left leg lowers, reach past your right thigh. If you want a little more challenge, as you switch sides, rather than bringing both legs to the sky, reach your arms overhead and lower both legs. And exhale, switch. Inhale, expand. Exhale, switch. You can keep both legs overhead instead of both legs extending. Last two. Last one on the right. Stretching back out. Exhale, melt into the floor. Wag your hips a little side to side. Move your knees in circles, massaging your low back. Circle it the other way too. And make your way up to hands and knees. You can rock and roll to get there. You can roll to the side to get there. Blocks maybe near the front of the mat. Any wiggles you want here. Swing your hips side to side. Move your hips in circles. You can be dramatic or gentle. If you're feeling some aches and pains, if you're kind of sore or have some injuries, go smaller. Switch the way that you're wiggling. Make up a new yoga pose. Stick your tongue out and get weird with your face as you look up. Get your head involved. Slowly making your way back to down dog. Pressing into your heels, one leg at a time. Walk your feet wider than your mat or as wide as your mat so you can press a little more into your heels. It's your Instagram cheat. If you bring your feet wider, it looks like your down dog is so juicy. Take a big breath in, walk your feet back together. Inhale, forward to plank. First chaturanga. Exhale, lower all the way to the ground. Feel free to lower your knees if you need it. Hands in line with the chest for the world's babiest cobra and pause. Tiny little cobra looking down. Shift your head a little side to side like a little snake on the ground. Notice your elbows locked in creates this Jalahara Bandha, this intensity in the collarbones. Exhale, child's pose. Inhale, forward to plank and back to down dog. Exhale. Lift your left leg up into the air. If you want to open the hips a little bit, bending the left knee, finding that little scorpion pose, you can. Exhale, left knee into your chest, squeeze. Inhale, left leg to the sky. Step outside the hands, drop your right knee down. Find a low lunge. Maybe hands on the knees, maybe hands on the ground, maybe hands on blocks. Left hand to the hip, look over your left shoulder. Maybe bend your right knee to catch the back foot. You'll roll kind of onto your thigh rather than on the top of the knee. Bend your left elbow if you have the bind. Release the hands. Lift your butt to the sky as you tuck those back toes. Keep your butt lifted as you exhale, squat. You'll take 3, squeezing your glutes at the top. Sit and lower. Last one. Stand tall at the top. Inhale, arms to the sky, hands to the heart. Check out your stance. If you're enjoying a wide stance, stay there. If you want to bring it together to Tadasana or Samastitihi, big breath in. Whatever gesture of the hands resonates with you. Inhale, reach your arms up to the sky, big breath in. Exhale, cactus back bend, lean back, open up the heart. And then while you're here, wrap your elbows back in and stand back up. So you're in some like chaturanga stance. Roll your shoulders down the back and brace your core a little bit. And while you're here, notice if you let your elbows flare out, You can feel a little softer in the sides. And if you let your elbows draw in, it really helps wrap in that core a little more. Remember that core wrap for your chaturangas. Inhale, reach the arms to the sky. Side bend, exhale. Inhale, reach it up. Any version with your side bends, exhale. Inhale, reach it up. Forward fold, exhale. Inhale, flat back. Support your hands someplace. Maybe it's elbows on thighs. Maybe it's hands on blocks. Plant the hands, step back to plank. Vinyasa or cat-cow, whatever feels better to you. Exhale to lower. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, child's pose or down dog. Even if you do a fierce up dog, you can still do a child's pose. Big breath in, building that heat, taking the heat that you may have already walked in with and using it. Take a big breath in. Exhale it out. Right leg lifts to the sky. Bend the right knee, open up the hips. Strong left leg, strong left glute. Exhale, right knee to your chest. Inhale it up. Step to the outside of the hands, drop your back knee down. Take a low lunge. Your foot does not have to be on the mat as mine is. Right hand to the hip, look over your right shoulder. Roll onto that left thigh, maybe grabbing that back foot. And if you do, grab the pinky toe edge of your back foot. This is a really nice place to grab your earbud if it falls out of your head. Bend your right elbow a little more. Big breath in. Planting the hands onto the floor. Lifting your back knee up. Take a big breath in. Exhale, step to squat at the front of the mat. 3 squats. Stand at the top and sitting down. Exhale. Last one. Standing all the way up. Inhale, big breath in. Exhale, fold over the legs. Walk your feet back in if they're too wide. Inhale, flat back. Plant the hands, step back to plank. Chaturanga on your exhale. Inhale, cobra or up dog, lift the heart. Exhale, child's pose or down dog, sigh it out. Remember your child's pose. It is always available to you, even if you are in the middle of a flow and you just need to take a break. If child's pose doesn't feel good to you, do what does. If that's sitting on your knees, if that's saying hi to your cat, if that's going to get a snack from the fridge, you reset in the way that you need to. Again, if we're walking into today feeling like already a little buzzy, let yourself be buzzy, knowing we're working it out here. There's no need to fight for focus. Down dog, exhale. Walk or step both feet to the front of the mat. Inhale, flat back, lengthen the spine. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise up. Simple sun A's with back bends and side bends. Exhale, lean back. Use your core and your legs to stand up. Exhale, side bend. 1 breath in, 1 breath out. Inhale to stand, exhale to bend. Inhale, flat back, Ardha Uttanasana. Plant the hands, step back to plank. Take a breath if you need it, or same exhale lowers you to the ground. Up dog or cobra. Even if your arms are straight for up dog, you can give them a gentle bend so you can lift your heart a little more. Child's pose or down dog. 2 more simple sun A's. If you know your sun A, turn the music up, turn me down, take off on a few on your own. We'll do back bends and side bends, so I guess they're not simple. Exhale, travel to the front of the mat, both feet. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Rise up to standing. You can reverse swan dive. You can roll up. Make your way to the top. Make sure your feet are pointing forward. Your heart is open. Picture this smoother tempo you're hoping to find after yoga. Maybe it's not tired, but maybe it's just in the zone, in the flow a little more. Inhale, reach your arms up. Back bends and side bends, 2 rounds. Exhale. Inhale. As you side bend, picture this peaceful state. What does it feel like? What does it look like? What does peaceful version of you have for dinner tonight? Inhale, reach it up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Travel to the back. If you don't want to do a chaturanga, you can run your knees into your chest. You can cat-cow. If you are chaturangaing, exhale, lowers you to the ground. Inhale, cobra or up dog. We meet in down dog. When you're ready, last sun A with back bends and side bends. Exhale to travel. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise. Back bends. Inhale. Exhale. Breath in. Breath out. Heart is the last thing to go as you fold. Inhale, flat back. As you exhale, step back. Chaturangas, or whatever version you need to wash things out, will meet you in a child's pose or down dog. If you're feeling a little intensity in the wrists, flip your palms up in child's pose. When you're ready, plank to down dog. Inhale to rise. Exhale to fold. Walk or step both feet to the front of the mat. Inhale, flat back. Forward fold. Chair pose, Utkatasana. Reach your hands forward or up. Find something that's different for your spine. If you spend most of your day kind of like sassing out, then tuck your tailbone under. If you spend most of your day leading with your pelvis, then stick your butt out. Find something that's not normal for you. Maybe start to swing your hands around a little bit and notice that if you have a little more fun, you kind of find a deeper chair pose. Exhale, twist. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, twist of your choice. Inhale, come up to center. One diver's pose. Palms go back. Lift onto your tippy toes. The heart is already in this flying sensation. You're looking forward. Notice if you look down, you kind of start to fall a little bit. Keep that heart lifted. Open the knees. Sit onto the heels. You can hang out here, having a little stretch, melting into your low back, working into your feet. Or if you'd like to play with a little arm balance, remember, wrapping your elbows in is the strong space. We don't really want to bend our elbows in crow pose. A lot of the times in crow, we're like, let me put my knee on this really floppy back of my arm. Instead, squeeze your knees to your strong arm bones. Grip with your fingertips and lean forward. Maybe you don't lift off the toes. I feel like I'm in crow even though my feet are down. We will meet in down dog. You can step to get there. You can take vinyasas. You can pump out some push-ups or head straight to down dog. Big breath. Big down dog exhale. From downward facing dog, lift your left leg up to the sky. Bend your left knee, open up your hips. If you want to flip to wild thing, your right leg turns into a side plank. Pop your hips up like you're a superhero. Exhale, left knee into your chest. Inhale, left leg to the sky. Left knee to left armpit like you're a dog peeing on a tree. Inhale, left leg to the sky. Left knee to right armpit. Fallen triangle, kick that left foot to the side of the mat, reach your right arm up and roll to the edges of both feet. Maybe you lift your left foot off the floor. If you do, it starts with the toes. Plant the hands, one-legged down dog. Step between the hands, crescent lunge. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, warrior two. Bend into that front knee. Reverse your warrior. Keep your front knee bent. If you like to go sassy and really reach back, bend into that front knee more. Exhale, elbow to thigh, right hand overhead. Right hand comes to the ground, lift onto the back tippy toes, and start to walk your left foot to the left side of your mat. Turn your left toes out, and I'm gonna face my back to you guys as you roll into a side plank variation. Moving your phone. Left foot is supporting this shape. Take 2 little hip drops, exhale to lower. If your wrist needs a break, you can do it on your forearm. Lift. One more. And lift. Lifting up the hips, coming onto the arm, stepping your left leg behind the back for that flipped dog, that fallen angel we started that flow with. Exhale, left knee into your chest. Option for a one-legged chaturanga. Both feet go down for your cobra or up dog. I would say like 7 out of 10 yoga teachers prefer cobra. So no shade in cobra. Exhale, child's pose or down dog. Find your breath. Take the biggest inhale you've had all day long. Let it go. If you watch the nature show, there's like a gazelle running from a cheetah, and then after it escapes and it's like earned its life, it does this huge shake where it just shakes everything off. This is your shaking moment. You are the gazelle.
You have run for your life all day long, all week long, and this is your time to shake it out. Roll to plank, back to down dog, exhale. Right leg lifts, right knee bends, flipping your dog if you want to, or staying in the scorpion shape. Either way, the stretch is the front of the right hips. Exhale, right knee into your chest. Inhale, right leg to the sky. Right knee to right armpit. Inhale, lift it up. Right knee to left armpit, fall in triangle. Kick the foot off the mat. Roll to the edges of the feet as you lift that left arm. Maybe the right foot lifts up. One-legged down dog. Exhale, step between the hands, crescent lunge. Feel free to use your knee in any way that you need to get to the pose. Inhale. Exhale, warrior two. Reverse your warrior, flip that right palm up, bend into your right knee. Exhale, right elbow to thigh, left arm overhead. Left hand down. Right arm reaches up, come to the toes of the back foot and start to walk your right foot away from you to the back of the mat. Both toes facing the side of the mat. Take 2 little hip drops. Maybe you come to your forearm. Exhale, inhale. Step this leg behind your back for a wild thing. If that is not happening for you today, drop the bottom knee down and straighten that top leg so you still get a stretch, that opening to the sky. Plant the hands. Option for a one-legged chaturanga, both feet down for cobra. Option to do whatever you need to reset, to take a breath, to find your place. This class we're aiming to get out fight or flight, so if doing vinyasas is creating more of it, do something that makes yourself feel prepared for the next side. Big breath in. Big breath out. From down dog, travel both feet to the front of the mat. Exhale. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Bend your knees, chair pose, reach the arms up, and start to swing it around. Maybe you just are like, well, I'm done with flow. I'm just gonna listen to this playlist and dance around. Valid option. Wiggle and shake it out in the way that you need. The cheetah is no longer chasing you. You are officially doing yoga. And I know because you're on this platform that you're taking a yoga class, that you are healthy, you are wealthy, you are wise, you are here. Exhale, twist. Maybe you grab the outer edge of the body, maybe you prayer twist, maybe you keep it open. Knees stay buddies. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, twist. Inhale, back to center. One little diver's pose, palms go back. Keep the heart open as you lift the heels. Open up the knees, take a squat. If you want to play with balance here, you can reach onto your heels. If you want to stretch your low back, you can walk your hands forward. Or if you like to play with crow, that arm balance, think of squeezing your knees to your armpits. Sometimes it helps me to move back because then I know how far forward I can go. If you are having trouble getting your knees high up on your armpits, try standing on a block. It will help your knees get a little further up. The grip in the hands in crow pose is like the very top of the hand, the very top of the palms. So as you play and lead forward, don't look at your mat. Look like 4 feet forward and grip with your fingertips. Keep those elbows wrapping in to find that security as you play with your crow pose. Again, the toes don't have to lift. Maybe one does and then the other. We will meet back in down dog. If you want to hop and land in chaturanga, little cushion in the elbows, go for it. If you want to take a vinyasa, take it. Otherwise, straight to down dog is perfectly fine. In our flow classes, we often offer about like 700 vinyasas. You can skip a few, it's fine. Take a big breath in. Exhale, downward facing dog. Left leg lift, same flow, but we're gonna add something in at the fun that includes sitting on the floor. Lift your left leg to the sky, bend your left knee. If you wanna stay in the scorpion shape or flip over to wild thing, your choice. Exhale, left knee to your chest. My braid. Never wearing braids again. Okay. I'm just gonna go from down dog, I think. Lift your left leg up to the sky, bend your knee, open your hips. You can take scorpion, this shape, or you can flip over to wild thing. Exhale, left knee into your chest. Inhale, left leg to the sky. Left knee to left armpit. Inhale, lift it up. Left knee to right armpit. Maybe that left foot never touches the floor for your fallen triangle. Plant the hands, left leg lifts. Step between the hands, crescent lunge, rise up, big breath. Remember, use yourself, help yourself to get there. Exhale, warrior two. Reverse your warrior, flip your palm, reach it up. If you prefer triangle instead of side angle, that's fine. You can always take that version instead. Bending into that left knee as you reach your right hand down, right heel up, walking to that variation of side plank, rolling onto the outer edge of the right foot. Now I'm gonna spin around so I can face you guys for this. Left leg is holding you up. Lower your hips 2 times. 1, lift it up. Next time you lower, go ahead and sit on the hip. You can hang here in this lovely little hip stretch. You can come to your elbows, making it a little deeper. Or you can reach around to your foot. Now, if you have a strap nearby and your arms are just feeling a little bit short today, feel free to lasso that leg. You can also hold your pants, you can hold your ankle, or you can grab your big toe, whatever feels accessible. You're reaching in front of that left shin. Lift that left leg, right leg off the floor. And lower it back down. Release the grip. See if you can do it without the hold. Just lifting that right leg off the mat, both toes facing the side of the mat, 3 times. Lift. Lower it down. 2 more. This leg is doing it independently. You don't need to do much with the upper body to get this leg to lift. It's already doing it on its own. Reach back for the leg, maybe pants, maybe toes. You can be on hand or forearm, but move it close to your body. And remember, this elbows in is strong. So if you have hand on the ground, elbow in. If you have elbow on the ground, elbow in. Lift that right leg off the floor. Roll forward. Trust yourself. Trust this left foot as you lift your butt for a little baby arm balance. Roll it back down. Again, you can do forearm or you can do chaturanga arm. Both are available. Lifting the right leg first. Trusting that left foot as you roll forward. If you fall, it's a very small, little fall. Baby grasshopper. Drop it back down. Maybe one more time if you want it. Rolling forward. It is a little bit of a trust moment, and wrapping that elbow in will catch you as you get there. Remember how tight it is. That Jalahara Bandha, that throat lock, is going to help you hold that arm balance. Sitting up tall. Walk your right hand away from you. Set that left leg behind the mat. Take your superhero lift, fallen angel. Lift the heart. I've been saying fallen angel, but it's wild thing. Exhale, left knee into your chest. Inhale, left leg to the sky. Vinyasa if you want it, or drop for cat-cow. We will meet you in down dog, whichever version you choose to take. This is your last burst of energy. This is your last active side. And then we have such a juicy cool down. So if you're finding this edge of being a little burnt out, push it a little farther. If you're like, lady, I came in burnt out, then ignore me and take child's pose. When you're ready, I'll meet you in down dog. Right leg lifts to the sky. Bend the knee and open the hips. You can stay here in this strong scorpion, stretching your right psoas, or you can flip over to find it. Exhale, right knee into your chest. Inhale, right leg to the sky. Exhale, right knee to right armpit. Inhale, lift. Lift your glutes as you take this. Maybe your fallen triangle, right foot never touches the floor. Plant the hands, right leg lifts. Step between the hands, crescent lunge. Feel free to use your knee to help you up. Warrior two, spinning that back heel down, facing the edge of the mat. Bend your right knee as you reverse your warrior. Side angle or triangle. Exhale, elbow to thigh. Maybe elbow to or hand to the ankle. Maybe triangle. Twist, left hand down. Start to turn your right toes out and walk the right foot back. For some of you, your right foot might be up by your hip. For some of you, it might be more by your knee. Take what your hip needs. Lower twice. Exhale. Lift. This time, lower and sit. You can reach your stretching portion of class now if you're like, I'm not doing anything else hard. You can lean forward, flexing your feet, both toes facing the side of the mat. Reach around your right shin, grab your big toe. Lift your foot up. And then release it down. And try it without your hand, just lifting that straight leg off the floor. Flex and lift. A grunt might help. Ugh. And then drop it back down. If your leg is big and strong, this is harder. Lift that leg up. Giving it a go with the baby arm balance if you want it, reaching that hand around, grabbing your left ankle, lassoing your foot with a strap. Elbow in is sometimes easiest place to start, but you can also do chaturanga arm. Press strongly into the foot that you're standing on as you lift that leg off the floor. Wrap your elbow in. Think throat lock. Think open chest as you lean forward. Baby grasshopper. You might be noticing one hip is more mobile than the other. You might have more space on one side than the other. Last time if you want it, little baby grasshopper. Walk the hand out. Step the right leg behind the back. Lift the hips. Plant the hands. Plank pose. Down dog. Exhale. Another vinyasa if you want it. We will meet in child's pose this time. If you have a little bit more to get out, if you're feeling a little bit stressed and angsty still, pump out a few push-ups and then see where it goes. Meeting you in child's pose. Flip your palms up once you get to that child's pose, folding into the hips. With your arms outstretched, your palms flipped up, bend your elbows, finding a little tricep stretch. You can have your hands in prayer or like patting yourself in the back. If you don't feel a stretch, walk your elbows more forward, keeping your butt where it is. Releasing the hands down, rising into tabletop. We usually do cat-cow when we're not warm. See how it feels when you're warm. Embrace your abs. Think core as you dive your heart to the ceiling. Grip your fingertips. Push your heart through your shoulders. Embrace your abs. Don't dump into the low back. Tighten it a little. Exhale. Focus on the tailbone as you lean back. Inhale. Focus on the heart as you open up. Last two. Last one. Rounding into cat pose, staying in cat pose. Push your right shoulder forward and swing your butt to the left, finding a little side body stretch. Come back to center, wag your tail the other way, push your left shoulder forward. Coming back to center. You might want to block for your head for this one, so make sure it's nearby so you have that option. Reaching your left arm up to the sky. Thread the needle, left elbow, left hand, left shoulder comes to the floor. You can use your arm as a pillow. You can put that block under your hand or head. You can take this right arm to your low back. You can stretch the right arm forward. Anything you want to do with the right arm that feels good. If you prefer to be in child's pose and sink your butt back here, you're more likely to need the block. Gently untangle the right hand. Untangle your left arm. Reach it up to the sky and stretch your left leg to the back of the mat, finding a supported side plank, stacking your hips. If you want a little back bend here, lift the left leg up. Bend the knee, grab the foot. Push your hips forward, bend your elbow. Plank pose. Any reset you need. Maybe it's a vinyasa, maybe it's a cat-cow. Meet you in child's pose. Rising into table. Reach your right arm up to the sky, right arm up to the side. Exhale, thread the needle, right hand, right shoulder, right ear comes to the floor or a block. I have been enjoying sinking my butt back in child's pose, but if you need the space or if you want the space of wide knees and hips high here, you can take that version too. Left arm can go anywhere it wants to go. Notice what your vibration is now versus when you came into class. Notice if it's easier to take longer exhales. Use this restriction of the twist of the shoulder stretch to breathe bigger into your back, bigger into your sides. Untangle the left arm, bring it by your side, untangle the right arm and reach it up to the sky, stretching your right leg to the back of the mat, dropping your right heel down, and finding your supported side plank. You can be on fingertips or knuckles if you need some hand variations. Lift your right foot off the floor. Bend the right knee. You don't have to grab it. You can just put the right hand on the hips, pointing your elbow back. Or if you do grab your foot, keep that little elbow bend so you can really push your heart forward and stretch into the hip crease here. Releasing the bind, plank pose into down dog, exhale. If you want a vinyasa, feel free to take it, or 3 more breaths in down dog. Shake your head out a little bit, push away from the floor. What tools do you have for yourself to calm yourself in the evenings? How can you use those tools throughout your day? How can you give yourself permission to shake it out all day long, not just on your yoga mat? Reach your left leg to the sky for the last time. Flip dog if you want it for the last time. Wild thing. Exhale, left knee into your chest. Move your left knee to your left armpit and then set it on the floor. So a lot of us have this mentality that this shin and pigeon needs to get up here to parallel 90-degree angles with the front of the mat. But instead, keep this foot pretty close to the right hip. Maybe grab a block or a sweatshirt to put underneath your left butt. And then rather than worrying about this left shin moving forward, take your right toes, tuck your right toes, and move them back a little bit. And as you continue to melt, to stretch, to get more mobile here, tuck your toes, scoot that right leg back. The act of moving your leg back over time will get that shin more parallel. So start with this back leg to find that shape. You can come onto your elbows, find a way to support your head in pigeon. Maybe it's head on a block. Maybe it's elbows on a block holding your head. Your left knee should be wider than your left hip. So not in front, but pretty wide. If you hate this pose, if it is not your friend, you can take figure 4 on your back with your left leg. Same pose we started with. If you've ever been to a concert and your ears have been ringing afterwards, like that sound just kind of reverberating, it's a lot of what your nervous system does. When things start to be quiet, when you stop having to multitask, when you aren't in a state of hurry any longer, sometimes there's this tension, like almost like a ringing where it's seeking for that extra sound. That buzz in the body, just like a ringing in the ears telling you like, well, that was a bit much. Remember, if you're starting to get meltier, tuck your right toes, scoot your right leg back. Longer exhales. You know, sometimes if we're looking for more Zen practices and we have a really crazy lifestyle, we're like, I'm gonna start meditating. And it's like one extreme to the other. Sometimes it helps to have an asana practice to get you to that peaceful place, to get you to that meditative state. Come up onto the hands. Scoot your leg in if you're a little extended. And then option for a fallen triangle, pushing this left leg over to the right side, lifting your hips up, finding that final extension here. Planting the hands, down dogs, vinyasas, cat cows, meeting in down dog. Lifting your right leg up. Last time, opening up the hips, finding your wild thing, flipping your dog. Exhale, right knee to your chest. Right knee to your right armpit, set it on the ground. Swing your right foot in front of your left hip crease. So it's still pretty close to your body, kind of in your groin. Tuck your left toes, scoot back. Maybe a block or a sweatshirt underneath your right hip if you want a little support. And as you melt, 30 seconds in, 60 seconds in, see if you can scoot that left leg a little further back. Support your head in some capacity. Notice where your head goes when you have a moment. Where does your thoughts jump to? If it's something that you're done with for your day, if it's something you don't want to be a part of, your thoughts, label it. That's a work thought. That's a personal thought. That's a stressful thought. And then set it aside rather than having the thought. Just label the thought and move on to the next. There is no such thing as not thinking, but you can be less of a participant in it. You can become an observer to your thoughts. You can scoot that left leg a little further back to go deeper. The more your right foot does creep to the front, the more important it is to flex your right foot. If it's close to your body, you don't need to flex it. So much tension is held in our shoulders and our hips that sometimes when we stretch them, there might be a surge of emotion. There's the cliche of crying in child's pose. If that's where you're at today, lean into it. The issues in the tissues like to move around when we start to move the muscles, when we start to move the fascia. Big breath in. Sigh into the floor. Come up onto the hands. If you're really overstretched, you can kind of scoot it in a little bit. Strong hands, tuck the back toes, lift the back knee, option for fallen triangle, pushing your right foot to the left side, rolling onto the edge of both feet. Plant the hands, last vinyasa if you want it. Exhale. We will meet in child's pose if you don't. Big breaths in child's pose, big breaths into your low back. Notice how it feels to be closer to the floor, a little more grounded, literally. Go ahead and rise up onto your knees. Grab a block. if you have one, and place one between the feet. Coming to sit, tucking the tailbone down, rolling your shoulders down the back. Give yourself a thumbs up and let your ear fall away from your thumbs up. Maybe opening up the mouth as you do a little bit. Unhinging the jaw, stretching from the ear all the way down to the thumb. If your chin is rolling to your chest, help it back up so it's parallel to the floor. With your free hand, help your head back up, let the thumbs up fall. Roll your shoulders. And find it on the other side, thumbs up. This is a mudra. Give yourself a thumbs up about something. Making time for class today. Maybe you drink a cup of water today. Maybe you were nice. Whatever you feel like you need to give yourself a thumbs up about. Soften the jaw. See, I promised you guys a long, juicy cool down. With the free hand, help your head back up. Let the hands fall. Hands come to the knees, taking a little cat-cow while you're seated. Exhale, round the tailbone. Inhale, sit up tall. Last one. Inhale, sit up tall. Go ahead and untangle yourself, coming to sit on your butt. Blocks behind you, one block nice and tall, one block low or mid-height underneath the shoulder blades. And before you lower yourself down there, placing your hands behind you, your feet nice and wide in front of you, start to wag your knees side to side. Starting to wag your knees side to side with your heels on the ground, lifting your toes up. Finding a little rotation in the hips. Let the knees fall to the right. You might need to adjust that left leg so it's a little more comfortable. Maybe you put one of your blocks underneath the knee to make it more comfortable. Maybe you even take your right ankle and place it on top of your left thigh. Breathing from a long line from your knee all the way up to your shoulder. Untangle your legs, feet on the floor, wag your knees side to side. Let your knees fall to the to the left, to the other side. Again, this might be as deep as it goes. You might want to support those spaces with blocks. Breathing a long line from your right shoulder to your right knee. Maybe you add a little weight with the left ankle. This right foot can move if it needs to move. Gently releasing the ankle off the thigh, bringing your feet back to the earth and wagging them side to side. Finding your blocks and lowering onto them. The tips of the shoulder blade, like the bra strap line on one block, and the other block underneath your head. You can straighten the legs if that's okay with the back. If your low back is not sure, go with feet on the floor. Or if you want to butterfly the feet, if that's okay for your body, you can find those spaces. Breathing into the openness of the chest. Yoga asana, the physical movements of yoga, came about to help us meditate. The youth were wiggling around and having trouble sit still, so we're like, all right, do some crow pose, kids. That way you can sit down and meditate. The same applies for us. These motions, these wiggles, they're not the end all to yoga. They're the start of your yoga practice. They're getting things out to make space for you to do yoga all the rest of the day off the mat. We do the yoga asana so we can get out of our own way and into this more peaceful, middle ground, sattvic state.
If you would like your blocks the same height, you can also do that for a little neck opening sensation. Three more breaths here. Now, if this is your favorite pose and you never ever want to leave this pose, you can stay in this pose for the rest of class. This can be your Shavasana. Otherwise, roll over onto your side into a fetal position, curling into the ball for a moment, using your arm as a pillow. Moving the blocks out from behind you so you can roll onto your back and take a big stretch, arms and legs stretching out, taking up space on the floor. And exhale, hug your knees into your chest. Any version of a twist that you like. I like both legs, moving your butt to the left, dropping your knees to the right. But if you want to straighten a leg or take an eagle wrap variation, make this your own. Scoot your butt away from your knees, whatever version of a twist you took. Maybe there's a block between the knees. If your hips tend to be a little wider, a block can be really nice support. Well, of course, we always hope your yoga asana is here with us on the mat. Make sure to find times to wiggle it out, to move your body, to reset your nervous system, to get out of fight, flight, or freeze by movement, by breathing. And if that means dancing around to a song in your living room, if that means a yoga class, take time for those spaces. Roll back onto your back. Something neutral, maybe it's a bridge, maybe it's knees into your chest. Before switching sides, scooting your butt a couple scoots over to the right so your knees fall to the left, or whatever variation you're in. Again, if you notice that brain is kicking back on now that you have a moment, now that you're not moving so fast, label your thoughts instead of having them, or file them away into categories of when you get to have that thought of, well, that work thought is for tomorrow. That personal thought, well, actually, I don't want that anymore. I'm not going to put that in a category. I'm going to leave it on the mat. That thought about food is right after class. Whatever it is, just label and categorize it rather than participate. And I know it's hard to lay on the ground in your home when there's distractions and kids and pets and things that need to be done, but claim this space. The further you pull back the arrow on the bow, the farther it propels when you're done. Gently roll over onto your back, taking one more neutral shape of your choice. Maybe it's a bridge, maybe it's a happy baby, maybe it's a shoulder stand. And make your way to Shavasana. If you have low back pain, you can place your blocks underneath the thighs. You can roll onto your side for an entirely different position. And if you're feeling really buzzy today still, remember you can roll to your side, and this might be a quieter space for your final rest. You have time to put on your sweatshirt, to grab your socks, to turn the lights off, to claim space for you to lay on the floor. It doesn't matter if your eyes are opened or closed. Just do less. If you need to bring the hands to the face and massage the jaw and the temples, remind your eyebrows to relax, you can. Take a really big breath in. Exhale it out. Melt onto the floor in your final rest. If you are friends still on a block, And at any point you want to come off blocks, you can roll to your side and take fetal position instead. Let yourself listen to the sounds around you and choose not to engage with them. Just like cars driving by, you don't have to get up to chase each one. Take a big breath in. And gently roll to your side, pausing there like you're pushing snooze, rolling over for a few more minutes of sleep. Very gently bringing yourself to seated if you would like to, but you're home, so you can just go to bed if you want. Placing hands on top of your heartbeat. Be gentle with yourself. Most of your day is multitasking, is high stimulation with very little movement. Give yourself permission to shake, to wiggle, to get it out so that you can unwind. Taking a big breath in, sighing it out. Reaching your hands up to the sky, inhaling them up nice and tall. Then exhale, hands at heart center. Thank you for making time to be here today. Namaste.